there is a version of you right now who is experiencing massive amounts of wealth. I want you to think about it like this. Different versions, all you. Imagine these are all you. And what I want you to do is I want you to times this by infinity. And the reason why we're timing it by infinity is because there are infinite versions of you right now in this moment. Infinite versions of you that exist. You are aware of one version right now. Let's just say this is the version of yourself that you are aware of. Simultaneously, let's say all of these are existing at the same time. So simultaneously, let's say there's if it's infinity, there's millions of versions of you billions of versions of you who are also experiencing massive amounts of wealth. They are in their richest timeline. They spend money without flinching. They keep track of their finances like a pro. They have some debt, like very little, just credit card debt that they're paying off every single month. This version of yourself is not far off. It's just about becoming aware of this version. Because like I said, there are different versions, all of these, but imagine that they're all you and you have access to them. It's just like, okay, right now, this is the version that you are aware of. How do you now become aware of this version? And in this video, we're going to be talking about that, how to quantum leap into your richest timeline, because you can absolutely become aware of this version. I feel like this microphone is so close to my goddamn face. Let me just scoot it over a little bit. Okay, you can absolutely become aware of this version. You just got to learn how. Okay, and I am here to guide you, to show you, to lead you there. I am Beyond Taylor, and I am here to expand you beyond your self-imposed limitations. So let's get right into the video. If you're looking at this and you're a bit skeptical, right? Maybe the right side of your mouth is like, okay, girl, whatever, bullshit. You're like, I don't know nothing about that, but this is too sci-fi for me. Or you are somebody who wants to believe, but it's still too just outlandish for you. I definitely get it. I also know that you want to quantum leap into your richest timeline because it's not like you're struggling right now. I'm sure if you look at your bank account, it's probably the most money that you've ever made, but it's not like cut a check for $50,000 to your favorite charity type of money in there. And that's the type of rich you want to be, where you could just like go to a store and, pay for pay for a whole line, their cart of goods and foods and things of that nature. Like that's the type of rich that you're trying to be. And you're just like, okay, you know how to make money. Now you're trying to quantum leap to the exponential amount of money. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about. So you already have that wealth now. And that is so important to understand. Like I said, I know that could be a bit difficult to understand when we're talking about the quantum world and we're talking about quantum leaping and like the multiverse and multiple versions of yourself. But if this is not solid and ingrained within you, and you are willing to test that from here on out, then this video is going to be pointless. And it was good to meet you. It was good to see you. And like, go find something else to do. But if you can accept a little bit that you already are the richest version of yourself, the version you're trying to become, you are already that. You are already the richest version of yourself now. That is something that you have to, even if you don't believe, you are willing to test like a scientist, experiment and see, is this true or is this not true? But you're not just going to like knock the idea down. You just don't see it. And the only reason why you don't see it is because your attention keeps turning toward what you don't have instead of training itself to notice how you already have it now. I love this post by Pia. I'm going to put it on the screen. Realization by Pia. That's her name on Instagram. I saw this post and and as you can see, it's like the desire is I want to be where it's blue. And then one person is looking at, like, let's say you in a room, and I'll also draw it here as another example. Or let's just say, yeah, there's two people and both of them are wanting to be where it's blue. One person is able to see the little blue that's there. Now, all of this is white, but they see that little blue and they're fixing their attention on it. While this person, all they can see is the white, right? All they can see is the white. This person, because they are fixated on the blue, reality just continues to reflect to them how blue it can get. More and more blue. But this person, because they see the blue as well, but they also, their attention is just also like all out here. So then this just continues to be their reality because they're fixating their attention on it. So it must mean they love what they see. Yes? Yes. That's exactly what that image shows. And I love that art piece. It was a great representation of the quantum leap and what actually creates that. Because when you focus on what you want, you just see more of it. So if you focus on the fact that you are already in your richest timeline now, then guess what? You'll see more evidence to support that. But if you focus on how it's not actually here, I'm being delusional, all I see is the lack thereof. And I'm not saying this to kind of like come at your head or make you feel bad about it, because a lot of the reason why you're doing that is because your nervous system is probably not equipped to sit in discomfort, to sit in the unknown. So you like grasp to the known reality, which is the white, as a form of survival and safety. And which is why I talk a lot about nervous system expansion and regulation on this channel. But I just need you to understand what's going on without shaming you for doing it. I just want you to see. You feel me? You feel me? Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. Also, I am reading from my Substack newsletter. These are the videos that go along with it. So if you want to read the newsletter in full, check out the link down below. This is called Quantum Leap into Your Richest Timeline. And this is just a video version of that. So most people assume a quantum leap has to do with external circumstances. They think they will know they leap because massive amounts of wealth will be in their bank account. The funny part is that by the time reality rearranges itself, you don't even notice it. It's just like, oh, wow, here it is. Because it becomes so normal to you. That is and the reason why it's so normal to you is because you were already living it. You were already seeing blue. So by the time it's all blue, you're like, oh, I've been looking at the blue. It's like, it's not this like big trip for you. It's like, oh yeah, I've been looking at the blue. So that is something that's like really cool to see. And this is why manifestation is instant, because the sooner you can see the richest as here and now, you have it. That's it. It's instant. And you're not relying on the senses to tell you anything, because guess what? The senses are not reliable. Let's just talk about your sensory experience real quick. Your sensory experience is delayed, not reliable, not the full picture. And this is why they're not reliable, because they're not the full picture. And we see, I'll put the number on the screen of what science says we see of reality, of what's actually there. Such a small percent. So right now, look around. Actually do a twirl for me. Everything that you just saw, it is a small fraction of what's actually there. There is more happening around you that you can't see than what you can see. So for you to depend on the senses is a form of survival. It actually is. Oh my God, there's so much science around this, and I'm not going to go into the science around it, but it's really, really cool what scientists are starting to discover about our reality. And they're just confirming and proving what mystics have been saying for ages. Your sensory experience is delayed, is not reliable, and it is not the full picture. So if you are looking at your external as it currently is as evidence for the fact that you are in your richest timeline now, you are doing yourself a disservice. And more than likely, you're going to be disappointed. Then you're going to be reacting to the situation. And then based on the reaction, that is your state. Then your state is going to reflect that back to you. And then it just becomes this constant loop that you can't get out of. The quantum leap is seeing that you are there now. Now, let me tell y'all a story. I saw wealth before it arrived in my bank account. In July of 2025, me and my family moved to Malaysia. Well, we started traveling Southeast Asia. We're not really living in any particular place. We went to Malaysia for 3 months. We were in Thailand for 2 months. And now we have been in Vietnam for almost 2 months. Or has it been 2 months? I'm not really sure. But this was the best decision that I ever made. We just got up, said, hey, we out, bye USA. And we really had no plan. We had no idea how it was going to work. We didn't really have finances. I mean, we had a little bit of savings, but we really like jumped on a wish and a prayer. But it worked out. Why? Because I was in my richest timeline before that even happened. And even while we were moving and my bank account wasn't reflecting my riches, I was there. Internally, I was there. Okay. And now I feel genuinely rich. I'm rich in time. I'm rich in resources. I'm rich in energy. I'm rich in love. I'm rich in everything. There is so much abundance in my life, but I had it before reality reflected to it. And now, wow, reality is even reflecting it to me. Because guess what? Last month, I had my first $20,000 sales month, which is huge because that had been a goal of mine forever. So congratulations to me for being able to generate $20,000 of sales within my business. And again, I feel like I'm spelling congratulations wrong, but that's okay. Or maybe not, I don't know. But congratulations, woo! This number, I already felt like I had that before the money ever touched, right? This is sales, not cash. I had a $6,000 cash month last month, and I had a $6,000 cash month 2 months in a row. $6,000. What's that? $12,000 in 2 months, right? Something along those lines. Those numbers could be kind of off, but what does this mean? This means that before that ever happened, I had the money internally. I had the riches before they ever touched my bank account, right? So I was already this version of myself. I was already her before she existed. The thing was though, what I had wrong about this version of myself is I thought that I needed to like look a certain way. I thought I needed to look a certain way. I thought I needed to dress, I guess that's kind of dress, live a certain life. Like I had all of these conditions on myself about what the version of me who is wealthy, who is experiencing a successful business, who is living the life that I want to live. I had all these conditions on her, even though I know I knew she was real. I knew about quantum leaping. I knew about all of this spiritual stuff, but I still was so conditional with myself and this version of myself. Um, And yeah, I thought I had to become her. But what does become like if I have to become her, then what is the assumption under that? Become her. So that must mean I'm not her, right? If I have to become, that must mean I'm not. And that was the dilemma. My dilemma was I kept separating myself. I kept creating the distance between me and this version of myself. It's like, oh, I have to do, and this is what I thought I had to do in order to get to her. This is who I was. This is where I wanted to be. And I thought that I had to do all of this. These were the conditions. And then I remembered the quantum leap is now. So I said, oh, I don't need to become her. I am her. And I just started to look around my experience as if I was already in my ideal reality. I have a video called Romanticize My Life. Go look at that video. You will see. I'll put the link down below. I started to romanticize my life. I was in that apartment and I started talking about how I literally just started to see everything as if I was in a movie. The walls, the yellow stained walls, the carpet, the outdated refrigerator, all of it. I was like, this is the best thing in the world. I'm so grateful to be here. I just went balls to wall, falling in love with my experience as it was. And then things just started to shift. Before you knew it, I had like got a high ticket client. Um, the money was just rolling in. My boyfriend, he hadn't gotten a job. We were about to leave for sorry, my head is itching. I need to wash my hair. Jesus. We were about to leave for Southeast Asia and he hadn't found a job, but then his job fired him. How does that happen? You have a week left and they fire you? So then he was able to file for unemployment. So he got unemployment for our first 6 months of traveling, which is really beautiful. And then my business started taking off. So it was just like just enough time for us to get like really settled. And, you know, he's working on his business. Things are just working out and they continue to work out because I was already there. I learned how to place myself and go watch the video. You can see this in real time. Like this is you can see my progression of me accepting the state. I accepted that I was there now, and I quantum leaped into my richest timeline. So, you know. So, yeah, like I said, I remember that the quantum leap happens right now in this moment. As Neville Goddard says, the end is where we begin. So that is why I say just go there now. Go to your richest timeline, because that is where we actually begin, not at the front. And then we like psych ourselves out because we're trying to figure out all the middle steps. How, when, what? That's not your business, my love. So this is the danger. Danger, danger, danger. We're going to use red for danger. And then we're going to have like the danger sign. Is this the danger sign? I don't know. The danger of being excited about the quantum leap. Because I know, excited about quantum leap. Because I know hearing my story, you're really excited and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to do that. I'm about to like fall in love with my life so then I can quantum leap. I know I'm going to quantum leap. You're excited about it, right? You're thinking about like, where are you going to be? You're thinking about who will be there, how will you look. You're probably like doing all the fantasizing. Quantum leaping is how you witness your business becoming more lucrative, creating massive impact, and supporting as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time. Okay, so I know you're fantasizing about it and you love speed, and you don't love speed because you're looking to reality to change what's going on internally. You've been in this game for a really long time. You're not doing that no more. You're not dependent on nothing external of yourself. You know that that's not what this is about. You love speed because you love mastering your skill, right? You love sharpening your skill. I feel like I always say that wrong. You love sharpening your skill, perfecting your craft. You know the faster things change, the faster the feedback loop lands in your bank account. So I know that you're so damn excited for when that happens. You're so damn excited for the quantum leap. And I hate to break it to you. I really do. Actually, I don't, because I really want you to shift quickly and get the best results, the fastest results. So I hate to break it to you, but in the same hand, I don't. Duality, that is exactly what's going to keep it in a fantasy. Because you're excited about the quantum leap, about it, as if it's not here. You watching this video right now are in the quantum leap. Your business is the most successful it's ever been. You are the richest you ever thought was possible. And it is now. It's not later. You are not waiting for it. You are in the breakthrough. You are not at the cusp of a breakthrough. This is it. And if you feel like it's coming, the quantum leap is going to arrive. It's going to keep about to arrive. You're going to keep being right there and not understanding why things aren't just coming into fruition. Because you won't accept it. Because you won't accept it now. Most people are obsessed with thinking about a quantum leap rather than accepting that they are in one now. They love the idea of being in the breakthrough or right on the cusp of a big change, but they find it difficult to really sit in the breakthrough itself. The excitement of the breakthrough should lead to the full acceptance of the breakthrough now. Yet, some people like to be in the anticipation of it than the actual being in it. And again, I think it just has to do with the discomfort of sitting in the unknown of like, what is the breakthrough going to look like? Or, like, okay, this is it, but this is not what I expected. And like this certainty and control that people have, that we're going to, that I talk a lot about nervous system expansion regulation to help with those things. And let me tell you right now, having this mindset is not delusional. It's not delusional at all. Actually, this is realistic, because guess what? Time is an illusion. So anytime you place your desires in time, you're actually being delusional. What moment have you ever experienced besides this one? It's always now. You think about something that happened in the past. Oh, this happened to me. This happened yesterday. Oh, this happened 30 minutes ago. You can think about something that happened, but you only think about it, but you're only able to think about it now. You can project something into the future. Oh, I got to do this later. Oh, what am I going to eat for dinner? Oh, what's going to happen? You can project something into the future, but you're still projecting it in this moment. So everything you're doing it in this moment. So from direct experience, can we both agree that time is an illusion? So anytime you place your desires in time and you say, it's coming, I'm excited. I mean, I guess I'm excited. I'm excited, or I'm waiting. I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm waiting. But what's another way we place it in time? I don't know. I'm sure it'll come to me. But anything that you do, and you know how you do it, just put whatever phrase here. Whatever you do to place it in time, to put it into it's arriving or it's not here yet, you are actually being delusional. The definition of delusion is this, according to Webster. The definition is a false belief or judgment about external reality held despite evidence and controvertible evidence to the contrary, occurring especially in mental conditions. A false belief or judgment about external reality held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, occurring especially in mental conditions, right? So, a false belief about external reality, which is time, held despite the evidence that we just said you've never experienced time, that's delusional. So it's not delusional to claim your desire now. It's actually more delusional to place it in time. And most people still feel like it can't be that simple. Well, the voice in your head says it can't be that simple because the voice in your head is so used to like having plans, trying to estimate things, trying to like really, really make sure you're on top of it, on top of anything that can go wrong. Just doing all this crap. I mean, it's not crap, right? And you'll tell yourself you're being reasonable and you're being logical and you're being realistic when really what you're doing is you're being delusional. Because you believe that some way, if you're doing that, then you have some sense of control. And it's really because you have a fear of not losing control. Because again, you don't know how to be in the discomfort of the unknown. And that is why it's important to have a mentor. Hello. Sign up for, apply for the mastermind overflow, where this is exactly what we talk about, how to sustain the quantum leap, how to sustain overflow. Getting overflow is easy because all you got to do is accept that you have it now. The sustaining becomes the difficult part. But having a community, having a friend who believes with you, they're going to help you stay realistic and keeping your attention on the fact that you have it now. Anything else, it's just going to keep confirming your delusions that you are a limited being operating in time and space, and you have to follow the rules and the laws of time and space. And that is not good for you, my love. Jesus says, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Okay? So what is seen is temporary. That's why we don't trust our senses, because it comes and goes. What is unseen is eternal, and what is unseen is the one that sees. And you are always that one. I talk about that in a lot of my videos. I'm not going to go into that too much here, or maybe I do. But yeah, you are always that one. You are the one that sees time. You are the one that sees thoughts that are projecting the past. This is you. I'll just create this image to make it seem like this is you. You are aware about thoughts of a past. You are aware about any labeling in the now, which just comes from the past, and then you are aware of any projections in the future. Who is it that's aware of all of these thoughts? The thoughts are constantly changing. The thoughts are constantly changing. Who is it that's aware of all the changes? Class? Tell me. Exactly. The I that is eternal that Jesus was talking about. What is seen is temporary. The thoughts are coming and going. Experience is coming and going. What is unseen is eternal. And this is also what we talk about in the mastermind and what we just did. We built the foundation where now we're about to fume. We had to build the foundation so that as we fume, we don't get too lost in the fuming and we remember who we actually are and don't take any of this shit too serious. Okay, so that which you cannot see is the only consistent and true reality. That which you can see is illusory. Your richest timeline is here, but you're letting the senses tell you it's not, and I don't like that for real. LOL for real. Okay, guys. So these are 4 ways to leap into wealth. 4 ways to leap into wealth. Okay, whatever. We ain't gonna worry too much about the spelling. Claim desire now, like I just said. This, I mean, honestly, full stop here. Just claim it. Boom, you're done. It was good to see you. I will see you inside the mastermind. Make sure you apply. I'll reach out, give you more information, see if we're a good fit. But that's all you got to do. Just claim it and get into some support. Any support, it doesn't matter what it is. And that just reflects to you, becomes a mirror as a constant reminder. That's it. However, I know that your mind is going to pull you with some type of story, how you actually don't, and then your attention is going to keep getting pulled to evidence about how you actually don't because you've been doing that longer than you've just accepted the end, right? So really claiming it is more than enough. But if you really feel like that couldn't possibly be enough, I put in the newsletter this big sigh. Just if you feel like that's not enough, then just keep watching. And I put that aside with so much compassion because I understand that the reason why it's not enough is because most times you just haven't been primed. To some people, you've been in this world for a really long time. You've been working on like calming yourself, doing all this. Where you hear that when you hear claim it now, that's enough. You gonna hear that and it's gonna click. Like, oh yeah, of course. Some people, that's not gonna be enough. Like you're gonna be like, I've been trying to claim my desire. I still feel hella anxiety and I'm still constantly looking at what I don't have and what's not working. And for you, I say, I understand because I was doing that same thing for a very long time. So the second thing you want to do is set an intention to notice all thoughts that prolong your desire. So notice inner limitations. Now, this is not to be done to just become like super hyper vigilant. I had a client inside of the mastermind and she says, I feel like this is just a new form of me being hyper vigilant. And I said, well, don't see it that way. See it as you just noticing, right? That's all you're doing is you're just noticing the ways that you are denying yourself of your desire. And you should approach it in a very fun way, in this like fun, childlike, curiosity, investigative way. If you're not approaching it from that way, if you're approaching it because you're like, when I find that thought, then I'm going to be able to like put a light on it and then I'm finally going to get what I want, or it's going to change something, then the exercise becomes a means to an end. You noticing inner limitations is not to like, it's only to feel peace around the limitation itself. I don't want you to notice the inner limitation so that you can go ahead and change the belief, right? We're not noticing so that we can change anything. We're not noticing so that we can shame the thought. We're not noticing so that we can make something happen. That is not what's happening. We're noticing for the sake of noticing. Just for the joy of noticing the ways that we are creating these limitations. So I want you to become curious about the ways in which you deny yourself of wealth now. It could be through fantasizing about it in the future, telling stories about how it's not here, or getting upset about current circumstances and forgetting that you're the mirror. There are so many ways that you deny yourself. So when the thought arises, just notice it and then return back to like something else in your sensory perception. And that becomes a practice. Like, can you notice it without doing any of these things? And if you are doing some of these things, just notice that too. And then shift your attention elsewhere. That's it. And just notice it again and again and again, even if it's a persistent thought. If it's like so persistent and you're like, I'm noticing it. Why isn't anything happening? And it's like, why do you need something to happen? Notice the need to want something to happen to come from noticing it. You're making it a means to an end. Then if that starts to happen, then just drop it. Drop it. You're not ready right now. Go into some nervous system regulation expansion practices because this could be too much for your system. But like it should just be noticing for the sake of noticing. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. Now let's go into 3. 3 is going to be find a subconscious reprogramming practice that you enjoy. So what is subconscious reprogramming? Subconscious reprogramming is just taking some of that information that you have in there and rewriting it by introducing new information. Because from the ages of when you're born until 7, somebody else said 12, but I know 7, you're just like a tape recorder. You're just like recording everything. You don't have any type of conscious filter to say this information is useful for me in my life, the life that I want to live, and this information is not. It's just more so like, what do you see happening? And if it's like you see it happening a lot, then your system just records that as a pattern, and then that becomes like the shield that your nervous system like uses to block information. And I don't know, it's a lot that goes into that. I'm talking about it in my next newsletter a little bit actually. But you have a lot of information that you just stored from growing up. So now the tools that we have is ways to like place in new information that's going to support the reality that we want to live. So if the reality is your richest timeline, then you want to input information. So that could be through visualization, which is my absolute favorite. And it doesn't just have to be imagery. It could be auditory. It could be thoughts, whatever the case may be. Affirmations, scripting, playing like telephone, with friends, like living in the inn. There's so many ways to reprogram the subconscious mind: mirror work, sleep tapes. Literally so many ways to reprogram the subconscious mind. The thing is, just find what works for you, because everything works if you believe it'll work. The only issue becomes when it becomes a means to an end, like we were just talking about. If you're doing it because you feel like this is going to be the thing that makes it happen, that brings it about, then you're dismissing the fact that you already have it now. All this is doing is just teaching your attention so that you're not consciously, because I mean, it takes a lot of a conscious attention to like stay on to keep your attention on the riches, where if in your subconscious is just so much information about how you don't have it, when you go unconscious, which you are unconscious most of the time, hate to break it to you, you are unconscious most of the time, then it's going to be looking at the ways that you don't, just based off the information that's in it. So that's why you want to feed the subconscious some great information, so that when you aren't using so much attention to stay conscious, as you build up that muscle, it is focusing on information that's supporting the reality that you want to live in. Okay? But it should not be a means to an end. And this is a question that you should ask yourself. When it comes to any of these practices, would you still be doing the practice if you were not going to get anything from it? So let's say with visualization, would you still visualize? Make sure my mic is on. It is. Would you still visualize if the scene that you visualized did not come true? Would you still do it? If the answer is no, then that's not the practice for you. The practice should be so fun that you would do it regardless if anything came from it, because you enjoy doing it in the moment, just for doing its sakes. That's how you know you're in good territory. But if it's like, this has to work, this is gonna be the thing, and you're not doing it because there's a deep joy of it, then baby, let that go. Okay? And last but not least, be kind to yourself. And this is the most important part, is like, it's really important to be kind to yourself. And you know that you're on the right track when you are kind to yourself, when you are more compassionate to yourself. Because this is not a trying to whip yourself into submission to get it right. It is just a softening of realizing how you are in a multiverse and every reality is available to you. It's just a matter of, retraining your attention. And of course, everything ebbs and flow. Everything ebbs and flows. There's different seasons in your life that calls for like different type of motivation, different type of like what your effort is. But regardless, you should be kind to yourself throughout the whole way. So don't focus on consistency as much as kindness. Don't focus on consistency so much. Focus on kindness. The measurement of success is you noticing that you're kinder to yourself each day. That is the only measurement of success. Are you being nicer to yourself? If you are, then you're doing it perfectly. Everything is well. Everything is all well. Return. If it doesn't feel like that, if you feel like any of these practices are bringing more harm than good, like you're very self-critical and you're shaming yourself way more, then stop the practices and return when it feels lighter and fun. Okay? If you find that doing this work brings you joy, even when it's uncomfortable, if you can like laugh at yourself while you're like, I'm so upset and crying, and you're just like cosmically laughing, then definitely continue, because it's not going to be comfortable. This work is not comfortable. There's nothing comfortable about change. Even when I talk about doing nothing, get everything by doing nothing. People, I feel like sometimes that attracts people to my content, that feels like, oh, that just means I get to like finally chill and let back. Yes, you get to chill and let back, but it's going to be deeply uncomfortable to do that. And if I led you to believe that it's not, then I am sorry, and I was not doing a good representation of what this work actually requires. Because to die, what you're essentially doing when you're doing nothing is dying to who you believe yourself to be. And it's going to be a psychological death, and nothing about that is comfortable. So this work is not for the weak. And it's not for people who are just looking to get by and just like, everything's just going to land for me. It is in a way, because that's the way that it already is, but you can't see that because you're so caught up in the identity. So the work comes into allowing yourself to gently release the identity. But the gentle release is actually going to feel really tough. And it's going to be some really hard days and dark days, but it's so worth it. Okay? So that's all that I got. I love you. You are in your richest timeline. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.